Hello, beautiful soul. So, I wanted to just hop on really quick to one, practice doing a little live because I haven't done that in a hot minute, and two, to extend a little astrological reminder of thoughtfulness as we step into the pre shadow period for our Mercury retrograde that will station retrograde on February 23rd. Um, or sorry, let me make sure that it's actually on the 23rd. It will be, sorry, on the 25th. So we have the pre shadow period that begins today on February 11th, where Mercury is at 8 degrees of Pisces. Then Mercury stations retrograde on February 25th at 22 degrees of Pisces. Mercury will station direct on March 20th. So, very beautiful, right in time for our spring equinox. And then the post shadow period of the Mercury retrograde will end on April 9th at 22 degrees of Pisces. So, what I really wanted to extend an invitation for is this beautiful offering that I've created called Mercury's Light. So, and whether or not you want to join this offering or not, this is an invitation for you to really work intentionally with this window of time for this retrograde period. Because we do have quite a lot of big movements happening, and especially a lot of these big underlying storylines that are coming to more of our conscious awareness collectively, and that will really come more to the forefront when we get into the summer of this year, um, and so on. So, this Mercury retrograde within Pisces, it's really, in my opinion, a gift that while we're having like Saturn's already in Aries, Uranus will be moving into Gemini in April, and then Saturn, did I already say Saturn? Look, I'm talking over myself. I should have made notes, but nonetheless. So we have Saturn and Neptune that will be in Aries. Eventually, Uranus will move into Gemini, an air sign. And while we're having a lot more of this emphasis within air and fire, we're going to be having all of the Mercury retrogrades that will be taking place within a water sign, or water signs, I should say. So I think that this is nice as we have had a lot more emphasis on earth and water in general and more of these collective happenings, if you will. And now with moving into more of these yang expressions with air and fire, we still get to allow our minds to be in this space of yin with water when we're experiencing these Mercury retrogrades. So we've also been having these emphasis of eclipses that have been on this Pisces Virgo axis, which we're still coming towards, let's say, wrapping up some of those storylines, preparing for the nodes to shift into Aries, not Aries, Aquarius and Leo. So the reason why I feel like this Mercury retrograde is really supportive for us is that when we think of Pisces, and its element being water, it is mutable in essence. So while all these new things are stepping into, and really, I don't know if I'd say new, it's more so I think that we're choosing to be a bit more embodied and we're choosing to take more initiative and action in a more conscious way within our lives. And while that is taking place, we're able to really have our mind be more malleable, or we can mold it. And it's interesting because it's not, we're working with water. So you need, like, water needs to be held within something. So it's really about becoming, like, honestly, I think utilizing this window of time from the rest of February into March to really honor our body even more and really create this very solid structure of support also around us, thinking of our different habits, our routines, the things that we're doing that are supporting us with allowing for more openness or flexibility towards different perspectives within our mind. Because when we're thinking of allowing ourselves to transform or to shift how we're relating or connecting and communicating, especially communicating, um, it is about inviting ourselves to honor like a new way of allowing ourselves to be, to rest, to express as well. And during this time, Venus will also be in Pisces. And I think that this is really an invitation to think of this more creative aspect of our beingness. So, for the offering that I'm holding, Mercury's Light, we're really working on shifting one belief within this space with the idea that whenever we're working with any retrograde, we can really honor what area of life is it speaking to and what is tied to those areas that are maybe the supportive web of this ecosystem, or what is maybe causing um, an essence of being too invasive within that space or that area of our life that it's harming the other expressions of which we get to experience in our life as well. So in Mercury's Light, we'll be gathering each week on Mondays, and we'll be moving through these, let's just say, phases of. I'll read the little snippets of what we're looking at. So our first journey will be preparing us for the station retrograde of Mercury. So we'll be looking at where is it activated in our charts and identifying what is the intention of something that can be our singular anchor point that we can allow for conscious focus on to see how we can shift and mold and reshape within our mental body and honor emotional processing so then we can relate and receive and give information in a new way that starts to transform how we're experiencing life around us and within our internal landscape as well. And then we will have a little bonus gathering for the lunar eclipse that will be in Virgo. So that'll be really nice. I'm thinking that we'll probably do a beautiful body mapping exercise. So that involves some art and some meditation, really connecting with our bodies and seeing the wisdom that wants to pour through and more of this creative flow. And then from there, we invite ourselves to begin to deconstruct some patterns and really bringing intention towards how we want to choose to be embodied moving forward. And then we begin to create space. So we honor this liminal moment. And I think it's so important that, when we are in these liminal spaces, that we're not having ourselves being attached to what was and what can be, where we're honoring what we're moving through in the present so then we can actually open up to something that maybe we haven't thought of before, or open up to a sense of this inner peace and knowingness, though we honestly sometimes can't fully know what might happen or what might unfold. But there's a little bit more trust, a bit more surrender, and this essence of belief in knowingness, or just faith in there's not this waveringness, because there's this confidence that even though things might feel uncomfortable, and we might be in this space of being afraid to let go of some of these ways of how our beliefs have been working for us, or just storylines that have been running throughout our system. It's about allowing ourselves to find safety and knowing that we can cultivate for ourselves a space where we can invite ourselves to begin to let go, to release. So then we can now start to thread these new storylines with more intention. So, thinking of what practices are going to sustain us and keeping up with allowing for commitment of choosing something new as opposed to just going back to what was just because it was comfortable. And then at the end, we will be in this period where Mercury has stationed direct, and now it's a time to really celebrate the work that has been done. So this offering in its own essence, and also if you're just working with the Mercury retrograde on your own, there really is this own seasonal essence of the Mercury retrograde itself. So really honoring this processing of what is coming to one's awareness, and really the space in Mercury's light is to have guided support to move through that process and to do so within a community space. And honestly, working with Mercury retrogrades, I feel like I've been doing it consciously probably for the past three years. Yeah, for the past 3 years, and it's been one of the most supportive anchors within my practice, in allowing myself to meet new parts of myself, to renew, my relationship with old fragments of my beingness as well. So, I really wanted to create this beautiful container to really share that with others. So, whether or not you feel called to join, I do really extend the invitation regardless to take some time as we're moving through all of these different transitions to really just honor what you're feeling, and also honoring really the fear that might be present as well, the restriction and the limitation that might be felt, and seeing what does it actually feel like to extend even more love into the unknown, and to really find those supportive anchors that allow you to still feel grounded and in this space where you can have emotional release to honor, if there's a sense of grieving because you're like having to let something go, and if there's excitement because maybe something is falling into place that you've been desiring for a while, or maybe it's like this truly just liminal space of not knowing, and maybe that in itself is like, oh, this gift of trusting more and knowing that even in those uncertain moments that things are still working out in a way that is most supportive, that you'll be able to witness in hindsight, right? Because sometimes it's really hard when we're like in the thick of things, especially with changes and just not knowing. But it's always remembering, like, w- in moments in the past where that has happened, how there has been this essence of strength, this essence of yourself growing in the capacity of what you're able to move through. Um, and the strength that you have cultivated. So, um, that is my little nuggets, if you will, as we begin to step into this pre-shadow period for that. And I do hope also that um, you invite some spaciousness to hopefully continue to ground into what your vision is for your legacy that you would like to leave as a gift for all of those to come after you, as we think of Saturn finally having its ingress once again into Aries, and having that Saturn Neptune conjunction within Aries on February 20th. And then, of course, we will be having that solar eclipse within Aquarius on the 17th of February. And for that, I am offering a free gathering online, which will be February 16th in the evening for Pacific Standard Time. So all of that will be in the description below. But nonetheless, I do want to try and do more lives because one, I think it just allows me to show up a bit more authentically, honor all the rough edges, and also not be in this essence of having to have things so perfect, and to also have more community connection as well, because I feel like I operate really nicely when I'm being asked questions and having a little bit more dialogue. And I want to be able to feel in connection with community, in all the beautiful ways that we get to connect, be it online, in person, or in like little spaces like Mercury's Light or little gatherings. Wherever it may be. So, I'm wishing you a nourishing rest of your day whenever you happen to watch this or tune into this. And thank you so much for sharing your time with me. And take care until next time. Bye.